Abusiamfo Ghana adishima motwe wiase amansan amanone babia ahia abusiam no nyina akwa abasonko edeba RAZ Media GH and Kennedy Ohene Ejapon Jr. on Facebook. Abusiam ene Saturday 13th July 2024. Abusiam ene matraso akonwam na ene show no a different style. Sammy Gyamfy and Dennis Miracles Abuaji Akoshia ewe news file on Joy News. Na eho ena sabio Sammy Gyamfy se odentro eni akohwie ebe kan sema yense na emfata afa Dr. Napo ne ho. Na we mu ena ya ankasa the only defender, the solid defender Dennis Miracles Abuaji echi Sammy Gyamfy si ho no se bra na menchirechiro who is an arrogant person in Ghana politics. Abusia ensem no doso ene me nkasa na me jai na motie the debate between Sammy Gyamfy, the national propaganda of the national a propaganda secretary of the NDC, and the enable respectful intellectual communicator Miracles Dennis Abuaji, the communication leader or the communication director in Dr. Muhammad Bawumia's campaign team. Nsema omokaye how Sammy Gyamfy was designated. How Sammy Gyamfy exposed him and his master to the whole public of Ghana. Na yetie nyansa sema Miracles Dennis Abuaji eka edichire Sammy Gyamfy abra even the host himself. Emeki the point clear say Sammy was lying. Enti enabusia show no say I'm not going to speak. We are going to play the video. And we are going to recognize obibi obeba no abehwe video no bi uba nso a na watwere wo comment na yehu achiaw na bre no duru a wo nso watumi afre na wakyere wadwen ewo nipa mienu wo yi hwan ena na wo twa ntro hwan ena na wo ka asem a nyansa wo medin eye Mr. Mafo madikan aka kire se eha eye Kennedy Ejapon Jr. on YouTube, on Facebook, and RAZ Media GH on YouTube. Abusia ensem no said yetie no ye nyina yenko do mu asuko ye ba ye besan atoaso me gina kwanya we so na me de nchia kese ama ye nwa Francis Williams and Diana Apia. You're welcome to the show. Abusia yenko tie video ye ba ye besan atoaso me be de makasa a che no wo dem metunufo was in the banana and makasa a che no wo dem. That's my main control. My Dr. Bawumia no so yi wo. Ghana ha ya chechi Ghana abakosoma. President Kufuor to call retirement. But to be sack case we say a free say chechi Ghana from 1957. Ebe kan ye nya president bi a wabo Ghana chen na do da Kufuor.
The amount of them, I feel that another damn talk for what kind of cheap. You beat me, I will come. Empo, the Bokaya, they are doing this for me. Say, if you say Ghana, 1957, by from Bama, at the cannon, a penny, no way is my chain, another damn talk. Now, yeah.
Bawumia ano say hi ena opese ono ne yes adwuma yi wan fa baabia o to for wan fa baabia
we are back. Right, so Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, now it's official. He is the running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. the pair they call the perfect pair for the NPP's ticket for 2024. He appears to be visiting palaces. And some say there's an understanding because he's a royal. And he began from home, Menchia. That's where he's from. And as a royal, they needed to do this nicely. And you heard Otumfuo speak. The focus, after his outdooring, unfortunately, has been about something he himself now apologizes. Initially, he said he was taken out of context or he was misrepresented. But he has come subsequently to say he's sorry. Who is he sorry to? He says he didn't mean to disrespect the former president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, or any of our former heads of state, including his own grand uncle and mentor, John Ejekum Kufuor. It appears he realizes that he had not only attempted to demean even Kufuor or people of his own tradition. Let's begin with Kofi Bentil. And Kofi Bentil says Bawumia is the ticket, the best ticket.
Yeah.
He has said Napo may need some bit of, working on in the manner he speaks, but he agrees to the perfect pair. Dr. Atta Kennedy and several others. Dr. Atta Kennedy was on this show last week and said, this is advice to the NPP. You actually also agreed to that advice, that they should be watchful how he communicates.
Yeah.
Do you find that even on the first day of his job, he's attracting negative energy to the ticket?
No question about that. That was an unforced error. It was an unnecessary mistake. It was the weakness of Napo coming to the fore. And this is what people have been talking about. So look, it was bad, period. It was a negative. It was baggage that he shouldn't have. The only thing is that it's come up at the first place, so maybe he should deal with it. But again, you see, last week's discussion, I said something which many people mistook. I said, if after decades of Napo's politics, the biggest problem people cite about him is that he's arrogant, then the positive is that maybe he's effective. I didn't mean arrogance was positive. Then I said, if somebody calls you arrogant in this country, check yourself, because it is not really the dictionary definition of arrogance. It may be all kinds of different things. One of those things is indiscretion. So the question, people say, we told you he's arrogant, you see he's arrogant. Was that arrogance? Was it arrogance to mention Kwame Nkrumah and say the things that you said? Your Kwame Nkrumah. Now, hear me carefully. For me, that was not arrogance. It was politically inappropriate. It was emotionally unintelligent and strategically inept.
How else do you tell that someone is arrogant?
So, wait, you see, the point I want to make is, let's not be fixated about arrogance. Let us go to the actual situation and deal with it. What Napo did weakens his friends and strengthens his enemies. It has nothing to do with arrogance. It is strategically inept. Okay? It is emotionally unintelligent. Kwame Nkrumah is the greatest African of the last millennium. The best leader we have ever had. The one man who could have been president of the United States of Africa. How do you take him on in those terms?
The man who epitomizes the philosopher king.
You can say
what should have been the ideal for a leader of any country.
That man did not have a vice president. He ruled this country with his little finger. He did all those things that he did within that space of time and didn't leave any property for his children. Look, we can go on and on and on, but my point is, if you just say Napo is arrogant, you have missed the point. For me, this is serious. And that is why.
So will this hurt the Bawumia campaign?
I've said it. It weakens his friends and strengthens his enemies. Who has said anything about Napo or the speech apart from this one? Okay. So look, like I said, the decision is for Vice President Bawumia to take. And he had a lot of time. To the extent that it was his prerogative, he didn't make a mistake.
Do you find that even when Otumfuo says, I don't know you to be arrogant, you've not been brought up, that's not the way I brought you up, and then still said, I've had conversation with you in the closet, and then he still comes forward to say it. It's as if he wants to be careful. And then he says, but if the people are saying this, be watchful.
Yes. There's a statement, there's a phrase called putting your foot in your mouth. You can Google it and see. That's the problem. And sometimes people can't help themselves. People will tell you that if you are close to Napo, you will not sense this arrogance people talk about. But it comes across that way.
There are others who will tell you differently. If you are close to him, you will confirm that it's worse.
My father told me something many years ago. I've never forgotten. He says, if 2 or more people tell you the same thing about yourself, it is true. Check it. You may not like it.
That's Bible.
Oh, fine. But let's move. So my
the
point
testimony of 2.
The matter is
I think it's established.
So what I'm saying is this. For me, I'm looking for effective leaders for this country. Now, arrogance doesn't work well in Ghanaian politics. Now, whether Napo is arrogant or not, he has to deal with it. What I'm worried about is even if you are arrogant, you should not be making emotionally unintentional.
Okay, so let's move away from arrogance now. Let's move away from arrogance now. He comes because he says he's sorry. He's regretted it. He's hurt people. Yes. It should be let go.
It's quite offensive.
The CPP issued a statement. Several other people have told how they are disgusted about it. So we should ignore his defense that he tried to put up. Now, what do you think? After his outdooring, he appears to be visiting, royal homes, so to speak. How central is that as a strategy to their campaign?
Listen, Ghana is a democracy, and our kings and chiefs are not supposed to be in mainstream politics. But if you're a politician in this country and you belittle the institution of chieftaincy, you just shot yourself in the foot. If you're a politician in this country and you don't understand the power, I'm talking about real power, that people like that Santini wields, you are joking. So he starts from somewhere, and as a royal, it is proper that he starts from the palaces. Let's see where he goes from here. So that, absolutely correct. And when people complain about Napo and everything, look, one of the problems of MPP is that their base is demoralized, and they may not get people coming out to vote in the kind of numbers they want. Napo is the one man that can change that. So when he's done, you may not hear him, see him go out and do all kinds of things generally and broadly. But I think if he gets his strategy well or right, and manages to get the MPP faithful, their base, to come out and vote, you will see what will happen. So as far as I'm concerned, it is Vice President Bawumia's choice. He's made his choice. He knows why. I think he also knew the weaknesses of Napo. And like I'm saying, it come out on the first instance. But for me, to just tag it as arrogant, it's just belittling the matter. In other senses, it's more serious.
There are those who also put a bit of an emphasis on what he talks about and refers to Professor Milton and say, I deal with fear, oye. So he tells the people that I'm one of your own. And people suggest that's getting to tribalistic, ethnocentrism. Where do you stand on that?
It sounds tribalistic. Again, if you're a political strategist and you don't understand the role of regional balance, what we call tribalism in this place, you are joking. Even in the US, where they don't have tribes, they always have regional balance. You pick somebody from here, then you pick somebody from that side. Now, one of the problems that the NPP has, apart from its base, is Kumasi. It's Ashanti, where its stronghold is supposed to be. And they're having a lot of problems in Ashanti, from Arrongent issues and all the things that everybody knows. Napo is the perfect plug to solve that problem. And if he's a politician and knows what he's doing, he should quickly connect to his people at that level. Right. So look, political strategy has all kinds of aspects to it. And for me, I think I am watching closely. Napo made a mistake in terms of mentioning Kwame Nkrumah in that light, but in terms of connecting to his people and saying that I'm one of you, absolutely solid political strategy.
Right, Dennis, the thing to look out for as people who have watched the politics and the campaigns, we're getting into the silly season, so to speak, is now to begin to figure out what is this strategy? What is it with Napo in there? and going to chiefs?
Okay, so Samson, first of all, let me say emphatically that Napo is not arrogant. You don't tell or mention people's character for them to be. You experience it. You live it. And for anybody you hear say Napo is arrogant, by the time you trace back the person, you realize that he's only feeding on the public conversation and hasn't really worked with him. As a matter of fact, ever since Napo was minister, almost every single individual that has worked with him has come out to say, no, this is a good choice, based on my experience. And these are not politicians.
Have you heard any of Bawumia's critics say Bawumia is arrogant? Anything close that Bawumia is arrogant? Have you ever heard that?
But I've heard
Sister Diana Rivers, I want to say.
So he may have done certain wrongs. He may have done things they don't like, but they never say he's
saying that
arrogant.
I've heard people, the critics call Bawumia names that are not true.
The point is that it cannot be said that Napo does some wrong and people interpret that to be arrogance.
It is possible. We've had people call politicians a lot of things that they are not. This is politics. Remember, since we started our presidential primaries, people had always gone and knew and predicted who the running mate was going to be. I mean, actually, that is the case. Napo has unfortunately been won, and that's something that the NDC have done very, very well. Because see, I read Professor Samuel Betbuedi-Kusi, the professor for the Dean for International Affairs in the University of Cape Coast. He was the secretary to UTAC the time Napo was minister. And this is what he says about him. I have known and worked with Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. I got close to him during my time as the National Secretary of UTAC. He's such a fine, humble, and competent gentleman. If you get close to him and listen to his words carefully, he's such a fine, humble, and competent gentleman. If you get close to him, you will get to know that he is down to earth with a great sense of humor and has very good interpersonal skills. He is a great manager, a visionary, and a doer. He is compassionate and does not discriminate. During his reign as the Minister for Education, he had an excellent relationship with unions and his charisma. Always curbed intended strike actions. He speaks his mind and is forthright. He speaks his mind and is forthright. He solves problems and is a mentor. He is one of the best ministers Ghana has had as a Minister for Education. I have no doubt about his leadership qualities. And I wish him well as he begins his campaign for the 2024 presidential campaign. Now listen, I am MPP, I've been in MPP, I have never seen Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh exhibit any form of arrogance. Anybody I've heard say Napo is arrogant is somebody that has never worked with Napo. Never. I have listened to Nagrat's leadership, I've listened to Nat, I've listened to professors of the universities, professors who worked in the sector, and it is evidenced. And you heard the professor say that he always curbed strike actions. In fact, during the entire period of Napo being Minister for Education, he had the least labor unrest that Ghana has ever seen in the education sector. An arrogant minister can never achieve this. Never. The way labor unions operate and their modus operandi, if you're arrogant, you cannot survive them.
You hear what the intelligentsia, the intellectuals say about him when he was seeking to introduce that bill to clip the wings of the university.
So it is about it's about getting the conversation, like the professor said. It's about the engagement. He's forthright.
You are forthright, are you not?
I am.
You speak your mind.
I have a lot of people who actually assume that I am arrogant, but I'm a pure Ekuapim bred.
I haven't heard it said of you that you are arrogant.
I have people even in my WhatsApp.
I haven't heard it said of Sammy that he's arrogant.
I have heard people say,
even though
I have heard people say Sammy is arrogant. I've heard people say I am arrogant. I have heard it. Really? And I'm telling you about my own personal testimony people have given. You don't doubt that. And that is natural. But that's even beside the point. The fact is that Napo has suffered that false start of being won a kaba and slate of arrogance by the opposition party. Because all the professors and people who have worked with him, they say different things. The guy is competent, he's a doer, he's a go-getter, he's humble. When we worked with him, he's respectful, he engaged us properly, and we got results. He has this big task of removing this kaba and slate from himself. Unfortunate, but that is politics. The very moment you got ready to be named as a running mate, you should be ready for it. Remember when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was accused in Parliament of having 3-4 wives, and a woman's name was even mentioned to be his wife? You have to deal with these things. One thing that I have said and consistently told anybody that has called me is that you don't tell people who somebody is. People experience him. Napo has started his campaigning. He is on the ground. He's engaging the people. And by the time July ends and we enter August, the people of Ghana will know what Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh is made of. And I can tell you without any doubt that the true nature of Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh that the people will know from experiencing him would be all the testimonies that the people he has worked with, the professors, including even the energy sector. Ask Senior Jose, your friend. Ask all the people in the sector. They will tell you about the character. They may disagree on issues. They will disagree on the policies and all of that. But the character, all of them have attested that the gentleman is a go-getter. He's a doer. He's assertive. He's forthright. He's a team player.
He's dealt with most vice chancellors. They don't say the same.
Now, this issue of Tuesday's Kwame Nkrumah's comment.
Your Kwame Nkrumah.
I have a view, to be very honest with you, that now people are watching Napo with a much more critical eye than they would watch any politician in the light of arrogance.
So there's a benefit.
There is a big disadvantage there. So now, even how he walks may be a problem. We may begin to see people show videos of what he's even wearing and describing it as arrogance. Now, Napo cannot make a mistake by even not seeing a chief coming from behind him and say that, oh, I didn't see you, sorry, let me rise up. It will be interpreted. So that is a cross he has to bear. But these crosses, they don't last. You can't lie on somebody's character. It's just a matter of time. The people would experience him themselves.
But this time
and
has
it will
been
become,
for years now.
No, it's not. This is the time that he is going to be the number 2 gentleman of our land. He's going to campaign to be a running mate. He has never come to my hometown, Latte. Today, he will get to come there. He has never been to Kukua in Ayesuano. Today, he will get to go there. So it will not take Sammy Gyamfy or anybody to say he's arrogant. The people would have experienced him themselves. Oh, trust me, by September, what you hear is that, oh, send Napo Nukrano,
where has he been? Where has he been after mention?
But some said, what I know, having worked with Napo in this party all over the years, supports the assertion and the testimony that all the people he worked with in the education sector are saying. And you underrate Napo and his political influence at your own peril. It's just a matter of time.
Where has he been after?
He's been in the western and the western north.
Okay.
Engaging the people.
He didn't go to Nalergo?
No.
Okay.
He's taking a different arm of the campaign.
I was in Tamale and I was aware there was a presence.
He's taking a different arm of the campaign, and he's going to stay in the communities. We should expect to see more of him in our communities, engaging the people and having conversations with the people. That is what we are going to experience. And then we would see whether this by force arrogance, an arrogant person doesn't easily apologize like Napo has done. Listen, you know that there are people who have actually made similar and worse comments on this Nkrumah matter. I have screenshots here. I don't want to go too much into it because it may seem like a justification. But I have a chief here, and you can look at it.
Very many people.
Who have actually said that Mahama is better than. In fact, they said that Mahama is greater than Nkrumah. But nobody held up to the chief. You know why? Because he's not Napo.
The manner it was said.
No, not necessarily.
That makes the biggest difference.
Nobody has held the chief because he's not Napo, and there's no crystal microscope on him. The national organizer of the NDC actually said it
Napo
emphatically.
is not saying this for the first time. You know, right? People know.
But why?
That is not the first time.
If we want to go into the substance,
so it means it's in his
subconscious. If we want to go into the substance, why? I'm not a fan of Nkrumah. I'm a political science student. I studied Nkrumah in detail.
Okay,
so that's what I'm saying. Don't let us digress.
Right. Okay.
Because I am not. You can't force me to be a fan of another political leader.
Okay.
There are people who disagree with Kufuor.
All right.
Doesn't mean that these people are bad people. Isn't Kufuor equally a hero?
Thank you.
Isn't Dankwa and Buzia and Co. all people?
Thank you.
So don't let us even go into that light. Napo has apologized.
Right.
And I tell Samson, please let me land on this. Napo has apologized. And I think that it shows the way. it actually even tells you the character that is made of. It actually re-emphasizes the point that a lot of these
after pressure, a lot of pressure.
No, there wasn't a lot of
pressure.
pressure.
The apology came after a lot of
pressure.
No,
it's unfair. The
he
event
went
happened.
defending
No,
it.
no, he didn't. You see, I can replay what he said. That's what he said. My statement last Tuesday, 9 July in Kumasi on the performance of President has elicited varied reactions. The statement reflects my personal opinion about President Akufo-Addo's impact relative to other presidents we've had in the past. I wish to emphasize that I never meant to disrespect our former president, not Dr. Kwame Nkrumah or his own grandfather. He's never done any such thing. Okay. In fact, what he did in the Western region was to basically make the point that I was only trying to compare what I think my government, which I'm part of, has done against what other government has done. Nobody gave him room to even make the point in terms of what he means. You understand? So he hasn't justified it. What Napo has done is to come back and apologize for whatever discomfort his comment would have caused. And I think that for anything at all, let's give him credit, because we've seen leaders, including former President Mahama, make worse comments to Ghanaians, and he hasn't even had a cause to even think that he needs to come to apologize. So that alone is leadership and maturity that he has shown.
Thank you. So, Sammy, you, the guys in the NDC, and many people on social media, whether they are NDC or not.
Gyamfy beto so that mama me fan chia kese ema yewianom a maba ye no mu ye show yi. Phobia member me chia Phobia member TV e wo YouTube, Phobia member TV e wo Facebook. Sanso na yewia ba sister Esther Kennedy e mo akwaba. Masorantwi esie hardly yeah. Yewia panyini Samuel Okuno e mo akwaba. Yewia panyini kwesi Samuel e mo akwaba. Kwaku Boateng said he makes me a lot. You see me for sure. Sanso na yeah. Phobia member TV e wo YouTube. Prince Ampo for mo akwaba. Yeah. Diana Piat Medican Achel. Abusiamfa mo Facebook. Kwesi Asamoah Sambril Asarienok. Kwajo Asempa Furniture Works, Frank Zaya and Tisie Ibrahim Osmani. Michache mu nyina busia yento a video no so. Now we are the first part. The second part about the free education will get you mad. Entiman koba bia yenhwe na po asem we we a near the free education there no atwa so. Eho and oba say yes. Miracles Abuaje a champion. Abusianwe Phobia member TV echi akwan e wo YouTube and Facebook. Sanso na yewia SKB TV so no e wo Facebook and YouTube. Yento aso.
What is it that you see about Napo that the MPP guys don't see?
Well, the two of them have had 17 minutes to speak, so I know, I trust that you'll be very fair with the time allocation. Now, Samson, I can understand why my two brothers in the studio are trying very hard. In fact, I don't envy them at all, because they are trying very hard to market a candidate who is not marketable.
And that's what you pray for.
And to defend the indefensible. To project a person who is innately arrogant as humble. I can understand, because that is what they have been recruited to do. These are the communicators and marketers of Bawumia's campaign. So what do you expect? But you see, they can bath Napo with all the water in the sea. They will not be able to rid him of arrogance, because he's innately disrespectful, condescending, and arrogant. Character, they say, is like pregnancy. You cannot conceal it. It will come out no matter what you do to try to conceal it. I am surprised that the two of them will suggest that this arrogant tag on Napo is the creation of the NDC. Really? Over the last few days, the people who have come out to express their revulsion at those the condescending commentary Napo made against Kwame Nkrumah in Kumasi, are they NDC people? I'm asking you.
Of course not.
Journalists, your colleagues who work here and in other media organizations, chiefs, historians. So they are all NDC people. You see, you are not helping the man when you come and sit on TV and you try to justify his sins when you yourself know that what he has done is wrong. You are not helping him. Why? Is it the NDC who told Napo to insult diplomat teachers as daft and unintelligent? Is it the NDC who told Napo to tell Ghanaians who were legitimately demanding a doomsday timetable so that they can at least plan their lives, to go and prepare their own timetables because they were nation wreckers, like Napo said to Ghanaians? We in the NDC, were we the ones who told him to say that? Were we the ones who told him to make divisive and ethnocentric comments against the people of Volta region, particularly those in the Keita enclave, that if government made an allocation in its budgets?
Abusiamfo, munti asem we na yento aso. Wahu, die ama mebo Sammy Gyamfy ni video no. Enye se bia me promote Sammy Gyamfy o, but me pese ye nyina ye ntie, because bia na ba bia wo tie no ana ba bia wo no ensam na ndisi fo eka no twe waso de akoba bi ana twe wa adwene de akoba bi. Enti me pese mumma ye ntie ensam Sammy Gyamfy kan ehun ya pa, because me bo miracles video no nko a kire na utie de miracles o kana. I think say you cannot get a better conclusion. But me pese ye ntie the Sammy Gyamfy kan, the reason why these people consider Napo as an arrogant. Now what you want to say, it is just a political gimmick. Maybe I make say the NDC always try to prey on the emotions of the people. So me pese umi wasumu ye. Na tie nkyerɛkyerɛ mu ene die nti Sammy Gyamfy dwene say Napo arrogant. Uwia na wa ankasa wa mark nsem na o kano, if it can be considered as an arrogant, what them call attitude, and I say arrogant way of being, and I say there is a character. If it is an arrogant character, Sammy Gyamfy video, no, it is not because I'm promoting him, but I want you to listen and understand. Say these guys has no message. Election away. So now they're trying to embrace any stupidity that will come out either by social media, either from toilet or whatever, to make it as a reason which Ghanaians should go and vote for John Mahama. Now, Sammy Gyamfy say, is it a reason to consider someone as an arrogant? Felix Apia and Moakwaba, John Camper, also Moakwaba, Azek Tankoran, Memoakwaba, Mentoaso.
To address the problem of tidal waves in that enclave, he was going to lead Ashantis in Kumasi to protest against them.
So he didn't derogate, he didn't make derogatory comments about them.
Yes,
you just said he made derogatory comments about them.
What can be more derogatory?
He said there are other people who have a need.
Yes.
So if you are going to do it, then you must do it for all, not for only those there.
Oh, so
he didn't denigrate
so the many times that we have taken public funds, okay, GMPC funds for I'm with you for repaying the chief of Akufo-Addo's hometown. Did you hear Napo coming to say that the other chiefs, so GMPC money should be shared to all chiefs? Why is it that when it came to the turn of Voltarians, this man said, if you try, because these are citizens, they pay taxes, something, and they are victims of a natural disaster, tidal waves from the sea. And MPs in parliament, they are representing.
Well, Abusiamu, Obi or not to Obi arrogant. Etimi Bienano, about His Excellency, the President of the land in the Akufo-Addo, in this manner, when you arrogant. This, according to the NDC, the posture and the way that Sammy Gyamfy pronounces the name of the sitting president's name, it's not an arrogance. It's not a character of arrogance. So Sammy Gyamfy, 35 years old guy, our Busham, Senya Krono na wo abo enka ye Tom Busham fo nyina mpona ye nuru Akufo-Addo Nana Addo Danko Akufo-Addo ni fie otim ne bo you can mention Nana Danko Akufo-Addo's name like that. That is not arrogance. But the fact is that Obi catchere citizens say, Yenye Dumuso, Entimene, timetable Amedebe Mam, Munyan to Boasen, and we are fixing no. That consider an arrogance. Now, the question that I want you people to answer me in the comment section is say, are we after a better leader? Are we after a leader that can solve our problem, or we after somebody who is a cool person who respects everybody and doesn't perform? Are we searching for a performed leader, a leader of what they call a record of performance, incompetence, and as you heard, a leader of a calm character, or at the same time, and in what they call incompetent leader? You know, these are jokes that these guys are praying on you. Sammy Gyamfy, Felix, you don't mind them cry. SKB TV,
representatives were making a legitimate demand for government to make a budgetary allocation for that. And this man says, if you try that, why are the people of Kumasi suffering from any tidal wave disaster? So how can such an allocation be made for them? That argument doesn't even make sense.
In fact, my view is that they are not victims of a natural disaster.
Yes.
They have suffered because of the negligence of those who are supposed to manage the situation.
Yeah.
And those managers ought to be held accountable.
I agree.
They must pay.
I agree, and I'm sure you are talking about that man-made dam spillage disaster.
You know, now there's another one coming.
Yes.
See how they are going about it. That's what they should have done in the first place.
Yes. You see, you are energy minister. There is doom, so people are suffering. They ask you for a common timetable, and you tell the journalists that go and prepare your own timetable. When this man in opposition joined the doom, so must end. Have you seen the speech he delivered there?
Yeah, we played.
Have you seen the tonation? And people are defending him that it is we in the NDC who are branding him arrogant. Can anybody brand Kufo as arrogant? The tag will not stick. Just like the arrogant tag Miracles is trying to force on Mahama, who cannot stick because everybody knows him to be a perfect gentleman, a humble leader. So please stop this. We are not the ones who told Napo to tell poor and suffering SHS students that they should count themselves lucky that they can defecate in black polythene bags. Neither were we the people who told Napo to come and sit in the studios of Asempa FM here and say that it was Mahama, lie against Mahama, a former president, that he was the one who bashed students and parents to go and fake fainting at the Independence Square. Let the man carry his own cross. This is what he is. And as I told you, you can bath him with all the water in the sea. You can't rid him of this. Look, if he was not innately disrespectful and arrogant, how can your own king, the Otumfuo, advise you in the full glare of the public? The fact that he even chose to advise you in the public after he says he advised you in private should tell you what he thinks about you. Then, it was not even an hour, few minutes after, even as he was entering the grounds, there is an MPP apparatchik who works at the presidency. They call him Boya. Boya was giving Napo fans. He was trying to get close. I'm sure you've seen the video. In the full glare of the public, Napo said, "Get out, go away." We saw that in the video.
We didn't hear what he said, but we heard him.
You saw the gesture
shouting at him,
and we know in our culture
he was not happy about what the guy was
that
doing.
gesture meant something. No leader who has the decency and maturity required to lead will do that in public.
He's human. He should get angry when someone is doing something wrong against him.
Not every human being can be a vice president. For you to occupy such a prestigious high office, you cannot just say, "I am human."
So what?
There is a certain maturity.
Pretend.
So you are human, so you can sit in parliament and do this to your colleague MP and say you are mad. You can do this in parliament. You are human, so you can stand on a political platform and say you are in Nkrumah. The man who gave us independence, the man who carved out what we know to be Ghana today, the man who has been elected as the greatest African of the millennium, the man who built the KNUST you attended, built all the major public universities in Ghana, UCC, University of Ghana, University of Winneba, the man who built the Tema Township, the Tema Harbour, the Tema Motorway, the Kosovo Dam, which till today is the bulwark of our power sector.
Things, the way the politician,
you call that man
you build it with your
Nkrumah? No, he built it for Ghana.
Okay.
He built it for Ghana. You are comparing him to a man who has plunged this nation into bankruptcy. The Akufo-Addo, who under him Ghana cannot pay its debts. The Akufo-Addo, who can only boast of the biggest pit in the whole world, $58 million sunk into a fraudulent cathedral project. The Akufo-Addo, who oversaw the closure of the Kolebu Renal unit for close to 4 months over government's indebtedness of 4 million cedis, leading to the avoidable debt of over 17 Ghanaians. You are this is an unforgivable sacrilege. Nobody does that. And when people were telling him that he was wrong, he went to Nkrumah's hometown. Look at how insulting this is. He goes to Nkrumah's home region, the Western region, doubles down on his reckless, irresponsible comments, and actually rubs it in the faces of the people of that region. And because of the revulsion the people
told the chiefs there, he said, "You have not brought me up to be arrogant.
Were they the ones who brought him?
I am being assertive,
yes,
and I'm being a truth teller, and people hate that kind of posture."
So that is what shows that NAPO has not apologized. That is my position. This statement, which has been issued per my intel, was issued by the campaign team without his knowledge.
No, you can't say that.
Let me tell you.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
The comments in question was made by NAPO orally on the campaign platform. He few days, in fact, the day after he went to the Western region, repeated it. That look, I'm not a coward.
No, he didn't repeat it.
He defended it. What about that? He doubled down on it, said, "You didn't raise me as a coward. I'm truthful."
So he defended it. He defended it in a context.
Yes,
he defended it in a context.
That he spoke the truth. He said that by saying you're Nkrumah, and that Anado is better than Nkrumah.
He didn't repeat by saying you're Nkrumah.
Oh, Chief, did you do the differentiation? Why do you want to do the differentiation?
See what it means.
I was saying, Sammy Gyamfy, our TV stations, Tronal door swama. He has nowhere to stay. Now, what do you heard? This guy, Ebon Anado Ding, to send Yamuba. Now, all incompetent Airbus Kromfo, confirm no to go Burkina, John Mahama Dinner, or say the former president John Mahama. And this guy is on the national TVs. Telling Ghanaians to say, "Yen to a banty will be because you're arrogant." First of all, Sammy Gyamfy, I think you are more arrogant than NAPO. And because of, say, you see a Ghana for, you see, say, you see a Ghana for. Now, we are shifting our political leadership not to competency, but rather to a traditional culture and a character directed or connected to our culture there. And yes, Sammy Gyamfy does not deserve to stay on public TVs and speak. Because in our culture, we respect elders. In our culture, even if you want to insult an elderly man, you don't say it directly, but you find a way to do it. Which Sammy Gyamfy is not doing that. Sammy Gyamfy is calling and insulting all the leaders in this front line of this administration. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, Oboni Din to say on Ankasa Yemuba. Honorable Minister Kenoforiata, this guy mentions his name to say Oyen Yemuba. So if we are talking about respect, is Sammy Gyamfy being respectful to the elders? No. Then what is he talking about? Now, Mamenka will say, leadership in politics is not about arrogance or non-arrogance. We, the Ghanaians and the people of Ghana, what we want is an competent leader. And this NDC for Mo bibi kafa na pohua. We want you to talk about his capability, capacity, the ability, the intelligence, problem solving. Se problem bi was anyema we am aboboy ho a ene na mo meka nkyere ye. That is what we care. That is what we care. Say entisa now you're competent or the capacity, the ability, the intellectuality to do the things how it's supposed to be do there. And Sammy Gyamfy, more propaganda no atonso because we are not going to buy into this stupidity. Yenyimui, Momo say for the NDC thing Ghanaians are fools. The NDC, they think it's a Ghana for Jimmy, so they are using a Jimmy dialogue. Jimmy nsem keka nsem anyansa nim na on pese omfa encapture yen na yen koto aba ema o na me say nana poku ahu obekire mo afi we rough Asante region 85-90% ena MPP ebekire mu e Asante region. You just wait and see. Abusia momento aso. Salute to everybody. Felix Apia, thank you for coming. John Campbell, thank you for coming. Prince Adu said memo akwaba. Sansona aseda adepa mema wonso akwaba. Phobia Member TV ewo YouTube. Phobia Member TV ewo Facebook. SKB TV or Facebook. SKB TV or YouTube. Sansona Political Zone Apia Felix. Political Zones or YouTube any Facebook. Bawumia 2024 ewo Facebook. Sansona Bawumia sister. And so our Facebook. So there are more to watch. Don't go anywhere because the debate on the free education will make you laugh for the whole night.
When I say you strengthen
This
your
is
opponents,
it.
you are strengthening
This
your
is
opponents.
it. So
That's what
so the man is not remorseful. Anybody who knows Napo will tell you he's not remorseful.
Okay.
No, please. You give them ample time.
No.
Let me
Don't
wrap up.
ample
Be fair
time.
to me. You gave them 17 minutes.
You have
Be fair to me.
you have
I beg you.
I'm not going to give you
Look,
17 minutes.
Oh, senior.
Okay.
You know that on that very platform,
the
a condescending and insulting comment he made, right? I've had 9 minutes. You've had 17 minutes.
You have long had 10 minutes.
Now,
both of us had 17.
Sorry, let me finish.
Sorry.
You have a minute.
On that same platform, Samson, you know that Napo didn't only insult Kwame Nkrumah and the people of this country. He insulted caterers and teachers. He said that there is abundance of food under Akufo-Addo, such that today caterers are stealing food belonging to children. And that under Akufo-Addo there has been no hunger. Really? Where is this man from? Is he living in the same country we call Ghana, where we all live?
If caterers have been stealing some of the food in the schools, he shouldn't
Where is
say
it? Have you seen the documentary that this station has done on the kind?
Abuja, you see how Sammy Gyamfy is a thief and also a liar. Ghana for Amohem is everywhere. We NDC new, we MPP new. Me pese mo ankasa in the comment section box. Monte say school mistress binom any some leaders in some schools omu area free SHS for more biare. Enti Monte neda. Monte neda. Why na ehwe mi se sia obetumi de nsansi ne bo aka kire me say until say the free SHS for more biare no ye wia no schools. Now this guy, Sakwawe, say nye politics na se kama minka bi panka akwa we utimi fa pistol. Na watete no anopo free ni fia na waka gum. This guy is very stupid. And he's so stupid that he thinks say the masters catcher so onko kan kire Ghana for no. O believe say Ghana for yen kwase afo te say no. So we believe in the lies and the foolishness that will come out of the mouth of this fool. Now, with the Munte the submission, the Obabeka. The fact is that you see a Diana any the higher quality amount for a can here say. Does that mean to say people cannot steal from the schools. Muntie the okay. Some idea, do you know Casano and who we are? Now I'm why a mistake. Muntie the okay. Because it becomes really annoying sometimes when you hear him talking.
Insulted caterers and teachers. He said that there is abundance of food under Akufo-Addo, such that today caterers are stealing food belonging to children. And that under Akufo-Addo there has been no hunger. Really? Where is this man from? Is he living in the same country we call Ghana, where we all live?
If caterers have been stealing some of the food in the schools, he shouldn't
Where is
steal
it? Have you seen the documentary that this station has done on the kind of food our children are eating? You see stew.
That doesn't mean there are bad nuts within the
So if
caterers.
the former minister of education comes to tell you that food is in abundance, when day in, day out, headmasters are complaining about the inadequacy of
But I don't think he
and the poor quality of
generalized
food.
the comment for you to say he has insulted caterers.
No, caterers are not even paid. So you don't come and insult their intent. They are not stealing food. It's not true. They are not stealing any food.
Oh, really?
Then he insulted us again by saying that there is no doomsaw. Samson, is there doomsaw or no doomsaw? Samson, you are very bold though. You are telling us, citizens, to be proactive, to demand accountability. Is there doomsaw or no doomsaw? And you have this man, Kofi Bente, is there doomsaw or no doomsaw? You went for doomsaw demonstrations.
Google doomsaw.
And you.
If you ask me,
I beg you,
let me answer.
It was a rhetorical
Google doomsaw
Rhetorical
and check
question.
the definition of doomsaw.
Rhetorical
When you
question.
finish,
Rhetorical
compare it to what has just
Well
happened.
played. You've done your job. You've done your job. This is what he's paying.
Google the word
Start
doomsaw.
trying.
Thank you, Sammy,
Let me
thank
conclude.
you.
Let me conclude.
Sammy, thank you.
Oh, they interjected.
Thank
Let me
you.
conclude.
Thank
I'm
you.
saying that, look, the apology is not sincere.
Yeah, I have my time. We all have the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You spoke for 17. Don't be G3 when I'm speaking.
Sammy, finish. And you are
The
stopping.
apology was not sincere.
You're stopping here. Yeah.
This is not the first time he has insulted the people of this country, and this will not be the last time. And the reason why it will not be the last time is because of people like you, who, though you know the right thing, will come and sit in studios like this and defend the wrong thing.
All right,
It's
thank you,
because of
thank you,
that
thank
you.
you.
Continue to display
Thank you,
arrogance.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. There was an aspect, we can be very brief about it, that in this process, now Bamia is saying, let's have a debate. That's where I want us to go to. Let's have a debate. We almost missed that. We have one more subject,
I know, but
which we have to be limited. We have to be careful with our time so we can make at least brief comments about that.
To the viewers. You know, when the subject
Brief means 2 minutes each.
I beg you. I beg you.
Oh, I'm just
I sat down.
I'm not coming back to you. I'm not coming back to you.
So I heard Sammy speak, and I like what he
You're
did.
being honest today.
What he did is that for the first time, I've actually heard the NDC now try to really define and put into proper perspective why they call Napo arrogant, and I like it. So he speaks of a doomsaw interview where Napo said, "Go and prepare your own doomsaw." Fine, and then he says that his basis is that we had doomsaw, and so you have to bring it. We haven't forgotten about the July 7, 2016 Daily Graphic publication, where the same question was put to former President Mahama to actually declare load shedding, and he said he wouldn't, even though there was doomsaw. Next level. You remember when former President Mahama told the people of this country in faraway Botswana, you're disrupting me, I beg you. Faraway Botswana, he looked into the camera and told the labor unions of this country that I have seen so many strikes in my time as president. I've seen so much that strikes don't mean anything to me. It's on video. I can share the video with your producers to play. And that, how I feel now, it's like they say in a Akan adage, it's like a dead goat. He's not afraid of a knife. I don't know whether there is any precedent that has ever made such an arrogant...
Well, he was voted out of power.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. Relax, we'll get there. Calm down. Secondly,
how many minutes each?
We are done. You are not coming again.
Former President Mahama.
We are done. You are not
told the people, Sammy, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Because
former President Mahama, I sat down to
Nobody interrupted you.
Sammy,
8 minutes.
We take a break here.
Sammy, you can't do that.
We'll be right back.
Oh, you know I respect you. I love you.
I love.
And here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first. It's brought to you by the kind sponsorship of Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner. MTN everywhere you go. Ashesi University matter in which the speaker,
even though we are an energy crisis, and that's wrong and unfair to him.
He does that, and which is actually the matter, in which the Speaker has referred the report of Parliament's committee that investigated the matter to the President. And we're seeking to ask the question, what will become of this report if eventually it's still the buck stops with the President? Right, so Dennis, let's hear you.
My thoughts are disrupted, but I'll try and pick them up. Sometimes Sammy puts himself into his own trap, and then later it almost makes me feel like I'm bullying him. And that's wrong and unfair to him.
He does that to me to suggest that
Why
I'm
do you
stifling him, I'm not giving him time.
He's hanging himself. He's committing suicide. This morning he's committing suicide himself.
Yeah, so go ahead.
You are the one who have decided to go ahead and define what you mean by arrogance on Napo. I didn't do that. I have always been wondering why you call him that way since you've never worked with him. But you've defined it and given several comments and things Napo has said in the past. I am simply humbly asking, have we ever had a former president or any politician, a president in this country, throw off the country and say, even though we are in an energy crisis, I will not declare a load shedding? That was Mahama. Mahama actually stood in front of a camera and told the labor unions and workers of this country that he has seen too many labor unrest and strikes in his lifetime as a president. And so now he almost feels like he's a dead goat. Mahama specifically told medical professionals in this country that he is not ready to negotiate with them when they were calling for an improved service conditions in the midst of hardship. Mahama looked in the eyes of poor people in this country, reduced their allowances when they came begging and said, we beg you. This is what we use to support our children to go to the colleges, nursing and teacher colleges. Please restore it. He said, if I have to restore this nursing and teacher training colleges allowance for you to vote for me, then vote against me.
So they voted against
Mahama, please.
And you, the politicians, know as a matter of fact that these allowances
Mahama,
that you are promoting are not sustainable within your government.
Not you.
It's
let the voter, let the voter determine.
He's from Zimbabwe. He's not a Ghanaian voter.
Samson, why?
You are from Zimbabwe.
Sammy, why are you doing this?
No, Samson.
He's the host, not you.
It is
now, Mahama told the people of Ashanti region,
give me my bite.
Ashanti region, and I have it. Since he's referring us to Google, this is Ghana Web. He said, if we build roads with gold, Ashantis won't appreciate it.
It's a lie. How? Never said that. Stop lying. Samson.
Samson here.
Number one.
Samson, read it.
Oh,
let me
never
finish.
said that.
Oh my God, please. Let me
go ahead.
I'm not done. Why are you disrupting me? Why are you disrupting me?
Severally. And Kofi Bentil.
Oh, Sammy, you have to behave.
Mahama's dead.
You are misbehaving. It's not your turn.
Dead goats.
You are misbehaving. It's not your turn. It's not your turn. You are misbehaving.
Engage.
You are misbehaving. It's not your turn.
But he was going to remain.
I will have my.
Go ahead. Don't allow him.
Again.
Stop.
How do I go ahead?
Samson,
you are disrupting it. You are disrupting it.
And you don't want to give
you
me any time to make a rebuttal.
Anything about
but at least I have a right to complain.
Take that right from you.
Watching I don't have a right. Unfair. You are disrupting the show.
Don't I have a right to complain?
Can you relax?
I relax for you to put out all kind of
Samson, just discharge me. And let him have all the time. Because you can't do that.
You can Google all the
give him all the time and say you won't give me any time to make a rebuttal.
Mahama showed us the way. Google. If we build roads with gold for Ashantis,
it's a lie. It was never
Ghana Web. Ghana Web.
I will not sit here
6 May 2014.
It's still there on the page.
It's still there.
Yeah, go ahead.
You open it, right?
It is a
do you confirm it's still there?
Awesome.
Chief. Why are you doing this?
Go and build.
Why is this gentleman behaving this way?
After
Akufo-Addo was the one who told the people of Kwabena.
After President Mahama made these comments you referred to.
After he made these comments, last example.
Have you heard him being referred to as arrogant?
Last example. Oh yeah. And you referred to a certain Boya. First of all, it wasn't Boya in that video. Secondly, that Boya never works anywhere close to the presidency. Number 3, let me remind him, and he's giving examples of a definition of arrogance. Now, you had former President Mahama being on a campaign trail, speaking, and being disrupted, but Sammy Gyamfy is disrupting this show this morning. One of his own party members
protesting
one of his own party members was blowing a vuvuzela. Now, the president who was asking for their vote says that, now why no, Kadianu Tumjai vuvuzela no unti Afrika.
So we are in the Adua, you do.
No.
That's what you're
we are in an intellectual debate. No, please, I'm not done. Don't do that.
Thank you.
Now, Samson, I will conclude. I will have to conclude because you disrupted me.
You are done. The time is finished.
We are in the intellectual
abusuafo yɛde deɛ ɛdɛ paa no ɛɛba nti ma mo nkɔ baabia na asɛm mpanipo ne pa asɛm wei mu na Sammy Gyamfy se ɔntene ho ase nti no ɔde free education issue no ɛɛba debate na abusua yɛsi nsuo ɛbo wa kase nsuo abo ɛnkɛsɛ ɔde udi agorɔ ɛnɛ finally even the Joy News journalist has admitted to say Mahama did not started free SHS, but rather Mahama sponsored advert against free SHS. Abusia, ene efia ebeye de. Me prepare video bi di abechiremo. Sammy Gyamfy asese okasa mebo the incoming vice president ni video bi edi achiremo about free SHS. Na masanya to aso. Said the beya enkoye de miracles wo kan nko a na mbom no yede budget parliament presidential documents ebe prove say NDC for eyakofo. Yen to aso. We a discussion, a debate about John Mahama lied at the UGC and wherever they went at the university, meet the press, and throw Kodi a free education. Young Konkoti, you better to us. Kahayaman Koba.
Senior brother Kofi. The fact is that democracy in this country is really progressing. And I think that's very, very good for us as a people. That I think we have a very vibrant, thriving democracy, even though we criticize it and sometimes I think we are too hard on ourselves. That the opposition organizes the media and engage them. I mean, that's a very, very good thing. And that's something that I see Cheddar also doing same. I've seen Alan Chairman do similar one. So I've seen a lot of other political leaders doing it, which is really good. Except that it's not just enough to have the occasion. Like Kofi said, well, maybe time. But I think the former president was too dodgy. He was dodgy of a lot of the questions and the issues. He tried to play around a lot of them. There are some questions that he didn't even address at all, which is fine. For me, I don't really want to hold him to that.
It shouldn't be fine. Give us an example.
One or two. He didn't answer Sewami's specific question as to whether when he said that
he will let NDC lawyers
is it a case that he's also trying to, I mean, he wasn't quite, I also think that the media president did a very good job. They asked him a lot of questions, which has actually brought up a lot of things that his own words are being played at him, and he's now trying to find some space to adjust. It's all good. What I think was missing was probing. Again,
follow-up questions.
Exactly. Okay. Because, I mean, I watched from beginning to end. I would watch again tomorrow if he does it, because that is what democracy is all about. I have said and I have insisted that this 2024 elections is not going to be about emotions and about rants. It's going to be about the issues. Because thankfully, we have a population that, even if I cannot read, I have a child that has benefited from free secondary education and at least can read and decipher the issues and advise me. We are in the age of AI, fast-paced, social media. So people are a bit more discerning than we were in 1992 when it comes to electoral issues. So it's purely on issues. So I would watch again. And I feel that if the former president tells you, and he was quite emphatic, that I actually launched free SHS. I launched free SHS. And how can I be against something that I launched? And that one of his bases to support his position is that when you go on Google, you have his opponent saying that or lauding him for launching free SHS. I think that, to be fair to the viewers, there should have been a follow-up question. Because Samson, I saw your face. You were there. I saw you. In fact, I have you on screenshot, which I showed 3 days ago. I saw you, and I realized that for a moment, you wish you had the opportunity to ask him.
Yeah, because my question, part of it was not fully answered.
Yes.
Because I had asked a question about what he has done and then what he will do.
Yeah.
Then he spoke about what he would do and not much of what he had done about what I had asked him about.
Exactly. So for me, and I don't want to really be taken out of context in this conversation. I have lauded him. The principle is good. We should encourage it and line up all the other political leaders to do similar ones.
So you're getting ready to do so?
I mean, engaging the media is just you talking to the people through these people. So the format doesn't have to be Kempisky with a big screen behind and with, a teleprompter and all of that. So maybe the format is what you would say, but otherwise, Dr. Bawumia engaged the media on December 4th.
Right. So but Bawumia will not do this type?
We may.
Okay.
I mean, we are running a campaign and we have a strategy. This is an opposition leader that was elected in May 2023 and he's having first media engagement a year and 2 months later. Bawumia was elected on November 4th. Let's be fair to him. He's just gone around the regions for the first time. He just started his constituency tour. So I like it to put the issues into proper perspective. The fact that you've done yours a year and 2 months later, and all of a sudden you are calling me, who was elected barely 7 months, that because you've done yours, why didn't you do yours 7 months when you were elected? Why didn't you do yours 6 months when you were elected? So let's give ourselves, let's be fair to all the political.
But Bawumia is rather calling for a presidential debate.
I'll come to that.
Okay.
I'll come to that. I mean, Dr. Bawumia on this tour, what we do is that after he engages the people, he places the same microphone that was placed for the media, and the people ask him questions. He's doing it today. He did it yesterday. He did it on the entire 16 regional tour, and the people ask him the questions. Remember the famous nursing trainee? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of the platforms. Right. So he's engaging the people, and they are asking him same questions that the media would ask. When we are ready, based on our strategy and our timelines and our calendar, we would come and also do same, not necessarily going to Kempisky. You understand? And having a big screen. It could be in any format.
But the media would have done better research to be able to ask questions in a fashion that will be different from the ordinary person.
That cannot be entirely correct, and I'll tell you why. You met the artisans in a non-formal group in Koforidua. You can't ask better questions than them. They have associations. These are barbers associations.
Okay, that's different.
These are hairdressers.
You are correct about that.
You can't ask better questions. The nurse who asked Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia about his allowance, you can't ask better questions about the allowances than him. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, Dr. Bawumia has made the trade union, like former president has done. You can't ask better questions than them. So let's also not mix up the issues. They are experiencing, you are going to research about them, and they are going to be asking questions about them. So the format, for me, is different. And we are not going to necessarily go and follow that format. I mean, we could do regional-based media engagement. You could do constituency-based media engagement. Nanado has been engaging the media severally. In fact, on all his regional tours, he's the only president that for each of the years that he stayed in office, he does a national and nationwide tour. And anytime he goes, he engages the media and is beamed, across the region and the constituency. So the format is what we can speak about. But it doesn't change the fact that we also have an opportunity to talk about the substance. I mean, the former president lied if he says that he launched free SHS. And that's a matter.
Progressively free,
no, he
free
lied.
SHS.
Even that he lied. Except that if they had probed him, he would have explained what progressively free means. Because he announced that he was going to bring progressive free SHS in 2015. He did the announcement in 2014. That is what led Nanado to make that headline, which he referred to. So again, the Gen Z watching John Mahama, His Excellency, would have Googled and realized that he lied. Because the story was quite clear. The story was Nanado saying that if now the former president had recognized or seen the essence, or let me read quickly. The 2012 presidential candidate, Nanado says, the president's decision to implement free senior high school education in 2015, he was speaking in 2014, is good news for Ghanaians and should be welcomed. He says, in an interview with an Accra-based Oman FM, Nanado said if the president and his NDC government now considers free SHS education policy possible, then it's good for Ghanaians. I see this as good news. So this is when you announced. Then in 2015, everybody is looking forward to you making senior high school free, only for us to wake up and realize that Imbo Bansa Nicholas, who is a day student at Kajaji Senior High School, is paying fees. We woke up to realize that Accra High School, which is a pure day school, no borders, are paying fees in 2015. In 2016, you realize that Aquinas Senior High School, that's a pure day school, are paying fees. In fact, the video is there where the Aquinas headmaster is sacking the students from writing exams. You have Otu Samuel paying school fees in 2016 as a day student. So clearly, what we need from former President Mahama is his definition. Then we would even understand whether we are debating with the right indicators or not. But based on what we experienced in 2015, if that is what he calls progressive free senior high school, then there is no debate. Because that is not what Nanado preached. What Nanado preached, which he fought against, is completely different from what he announced he would introduce. As a matter of fact, the former president paid 38 cedis of day student fees in 2015. 38 cedis. The day students ended up paying over 462 cedis. He paid 38 cedis. If that is the definition of free senior high school and progressive, which it could be, because he said it's progressive. So maybe this time I'm paying 38, another time I'll add 50. It's fair.
The fact about he initiating a policy in that direction.
So they are not the same policy.
Is a fact.
No, that policy is already enshrined in our constitution.
No.
So the point is that
our constitution has been in operation since 1993.
Absolutely.
So what I want to say here is, I just needed you to admit that fact, that there is a fact of a policy
announcement.
A policy
announcement.
Beyond announcements.
What did he do? The evidence, I have the
policy initiated for progressively free.
That is false. As a matter of fact.
Only announcement.
No, because I'm looking at a bill
for
St. Aquinas School in 2015. I mean, free means, and when you heard him, he said that he had already made day school free and had planned to enroll over 100 and something thousand bodies onto it. But day school wasn't free. This is the receipt. This is the bill. That is why I keep saying that let's separate the emotions and the rants from the fact. You can come back with another definition. And we would accept it. I would accept it. After all, he himself and some others had already experienced or enjoyed free senior high school way before the Constitution. So it's not as if it's something out of the blue. But the fact remains that Nanado in 2008 said that based on President Kufuor's decision to make basic education free, which had doubled enrollment, it's obvious that these people would need equal assistance at the senior high school to be able to get in. Otherwise, they will struggle.
He begins the argument by saying NDC midwifed, so to speak, the Constitution. And they put it there in the Constitution. So that was their intention.
Nobody is debating again. I want to contextualize my point. There are so many things in the Constitution that, I mean, didn't the Constitution say that we would realize true democracy when Ghana's governance becomes fully decentralized? Are we fully decentralized? Are we fully? No, let me make the point. We are not, so there are so many things in the Constitutions that need some enabling, which up to now we still haven't done. The fact is that Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo preached free senior high school, completely free senior high school for Ghanaian children as far back as 2008. The NDC, every functionary in the NDC, including the now General Secretary, former President Mahama himself, fought against it. And something, you see, this is a very important conversation. Now listen to this. The former president and his government says that the free SHS is not possible. In fact, the Minister for Education then, Leo Kran, emphatically said that if free SHS was that easy, Kwame Nkrumah would have done it. He's on video.
You're right.
In fact, he said that if it was that easy, Soviet Union would have implemented it. Now, Felix Kwachio Fusu, the aide to the former president, said that free SHS is a scam. It is nothing by a complete political gimmick. It doesn't make sense one bit. He's on video. The former president himself, and this is where it gets interesting, in the year 2016, this is supposed to be 2 years after he claimed he had introduced free senior high school, was on a political platform during the election campaigning period and said, We are not going to implement free senior high school on the whimsical promises of a desperate politician.
Right.
Something that he claimed he had.
Yeah, so I understand.
Something that he claimed he had introduced.
Right.
He said he was not going to implement the same thing he had implemented.
Right.
So what I think he should have done is to say that, listen, I think that this thing that we spoke against, this thing that all of us fought against, they demonstrated against it, which is on video, they sponsored adverts against it, which is fact. This thing that our General Secretary said, it is nothing but an all-lie be-lie policy. We think that it has come to stay.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay. And people are saying that when I come, I'll cancel it.
Right.
The reason why people are saying that when I come, I'll cancel it is simply this.
Okay.
All the things you said against it is evidence that you do not support it. Right. In fact, you are on record to have said that you believe some people should pay and others should not pay. So if you come and tell me that I will review, I will quickly go and reference your philosophy, your thinking around the policy. And my conclusion will be that based on all the things you said, I can conclude that you have an intention to cancel it. Now, if you don't have an intention to cancel it, come and tell me what your position on free SHS is if I vote for you.
All right.
It is not enough when you tell me that.
Yes.
It is not enough when you tell me that I will review.
Okay.
Review is not a policy.
Thank you.
What is your position?
Thank you.
On
Thank you,
free
Dennis.
SHS?
Thank you, Dennis. Look, I'm going to give you just 2 minutes of a rebuttal. Just 2 minutes.
Oh, no.
We are not having a free SHS discussion. We have tabled a number of questions.
I know.
And we are assigning time to each of them.
I know, but education is important.
Because he did free SHS,
exactly.
He
So
exceeded
let's
the time. I allowed it because he needed to conclude in a nice way.
Something.
2 minutes of a rebuttal, and then we move on.
Something. This is news file. This is, as you always say, the most authoritative political show in this country. Your viewers are very discerning. We are entitled to our opinions, but we are not entitled to our own set of facts. Everything Dennis Miracle Abuaje, my good brother, has said on this platform are bare-faced lies.
That's not correct.
I will demonstrate.
I can tell you that.
Number one, no, don't speak for him.
For example, hold on, but I'm a host. I'm not great.
Abujanfo munti asem we ye pa. Se muti se Sammy Gyamfy TV ni radio so na oye is a liar. Man jinni. When one sama fair scan has a CI. Why nentis asem we? Ya we ye mu biate. And so Sammy Gyamfy is trying to defend something that everybody knows. How can you think, say, we Ghanaians are so stupid and fools to the point to say, you can come and lie and tell us, the young said, you want to deceive us, say, Abusia, and some no what they meant here, this part, the ending part of it. But Sammy Gyamfy said, we are. Mebo video be actually. The NDC find a way to allocate money from Parliament so that they go and share. The seminar Sammy Gyamfy bekano Parliament you na applying what the laws or the amendment on the free education in the Parliament, you know. Sikana or the free Parliament, and as a finance minister, they call Minister of Education. Later, I will play a video to you to understand. Says can almost spend my school for and as a muchedi.
Just 2 minutes, and you want to share the 2 minutes with me?
Okay, see.
Entitled to our opinions, but we are not entitled to our own set of facts. Everything Dennis Miracle Abuaje, my good brother, has said on this platform are bare-faced lies.
That's not correct.
I will demonstrate.
I can tell you
Number one, no, don't speak for him.
For example, hold on, but I'm a host.
But you're giving me just 2 minutes, and you want to share the 2 minutes with me?
Okay, see.
No, Samson, be fair to me.
When you gave me 1 minute, you thought you are giving me the whole time in the world.
Oh, I gave you about 5 minutes to talk.
Listen.
Let's settle the issue. That's why people are watching.
Sammy, let's be careful about something.
All right.
To say that everything
he has said is a lie.
Don't repeat that.
Yes, I'm going to repeat that.
He mentions what Leo Kran said about free SHS. You can't contest that. He mentions what Fifi Kwete said about free SHS.
When I finish my response,
it's a lie.
Ask me about
that is not. That is not incorrect.
Number one,
he has shown you a budget line. That is evidence. So please, let's use our language.
Budget line of what?
He has shown you a document. If that's what you want to say.
He hasn't shown anybody a document.
It is because we can all take judicial notice of that.
Can I talk? Do I have the floor?
The issue is so popular that we don't need to say, show us the document.
All right. Samson, I am repeating.
So don't repeat it. Don't say everything he has said.
But allow me to make my point. Everything he has said
is not bare-faced lie. It is not.
Number one, he says that John Mahama only announced free SHS. He launched it through an announcement. He didn't implement it. That is what he's saying. Now I have in my hand the last budget that was presented to Parliament for and on behalf of John Mahama.
I know about that.
The 2016 Media Budget Review, approved by both the NDC and NPP. This is an official document. Paragraph 109. This is what is contained there. Consistent with the 1992 Constitution, our commitment to make secondary education accessible, especially to needy students, the government initiated the implementation of progressively free secondary education in the first term of 2015-2016 academic year.
I think the
with 320,488 day students in public senior high schools across the country. The program is to be expanded to cover 120,000 targeted boarding students in the 2016-2017 academic year. This is an official record. It shows that beyond the announcement, there was implementation, and 320,488 day students in public senior high schools benefited. Now let me take you to the smoking gun. Your own budget, not one more.
One more. That will be the last point on which you conclude. We are not discussing.
You are preventing me from exposing the lies. Because if you give me 5 minutes, everybody will know.
Which one is the lies? Which one is the lies? I think we must forget about the NDC. We are going to because before we finish reading against the force. Their attitude and how they conduct themselves, even in front of evidence, actually, their attitude and how these guys believe say we are fools. Hey, Sammy, I said, when you're not correct. Advert boy, free SHS 419, free SHS, all life be lie. And if I have 2 billion, I will not spend for free SHS. I will review free SHS. So all these things were lie.
Number two, yes. Number two.
OSK, call because I'm already done. I can't be 10 minutes.
We will not do that.
I will expose it because they've been going around telling lies. We will not allow them to get away with that on Newsfile. Your show has integrity. This is paragraph 781. I'm giving you sources of official documents, not concocted documents. Paragraph 781 of the 2017 budget of Akufo-Addo read to Parliament by Ken Ofori-Atta.
Right.
This is what is there. Other social intervention in others. So let me start from 780 so that you know that it's talking about 2016. In the education.
I was here for a pen, any people, I'm on Tracy Ghana, Sammy Gyamfy. You have a good video now. I'm watching a fan.
Education sector planned expenditure for 2016 was 6.9 million cedis, blah blah blah. So then he comes to paragraph 781, the next one. Other social intervention expenditures in the sector for the period under review included an amount of 71.9 million for the provision of subsidies to senior high schools, 25.96 million cedis for the implementation of progressively free SHS. This is Ken Ofori-Atta, your own finance minister.
All right.
Now, Samson, aside that, so clearly he lied. Look, it was on the 17th of September 2015 at Ekunfi Otuam when President Mahama launched progressively free SHS and commenced its implementation. And that is why President Akufo-Addo lauded him. If you claim that President Akufo-Addo lauded him based on the mere announcement, what about the United Nations? UNESCO also lauded
President Mahama said that has not been challenged.
UNESCO lauded President Mahama in 2017 January after
that has
the
not been challenged.
So you lied
Thank
again.
you, Sammy.
Let me conclude.
Sammy, please.
On the issue of Leocran and the rest. Listen, today in the NPP, There are people who have come out to say that free SHS is not working, like Kennedy Japan, who has said that he paid almost 10,000 cedis for a new entrant on prospectors alone. There are people like the finance minister who says that free SHS is not sustainable in its current form and that the rate should be allowed to pay. Is that the position of the government?
Definitely not.
You cannot cite the individual views. And the reason why those individuals even said that was because of what they said in opposition. The first advert they released on free SHS in 2008 said that free SHS, they created the impression that all you needed to do was to bath, go to school, and
right. Thank you, Sammy.
You came and implemented free SHS progressively.
Thank you.
Starting with
Kofi, you hold on for me. I'll give you a minute, but hold on for me. If
you are told the people of this country that you were going to do it progressively with Form 1s and then expand it to Form 2, Form 3,
thank you.
Those people would not have made those comments then.
Thank you.
So context is important.
Dennis, in the next 2 minutes, I'll hold you to it. 2 minutes.
Something, you see, I keep saying,
okay,
2024 is a different ballgame. A different period.
You guys, today you got me to activate my timer. Just the two of you.
Now, it's all a matter of fact.
Right.
And you see, it's not enough when you listen to yourself and set your own questions. You heard me say that, at best, the progressive free SHS that His Excellency Mahama implemented was 38 cedis for a day student. Did you hear that?
Yes, you limited it to his definition.
Exactly. So if you go and pick a budget, he should multiply.
That's why I insisted
he should divide. Yeah, because he's wrong. And here he is peddling false. Please. I beg you. When I was speaking, when you were speaking, I was quiet.
Sammy, please hold on.
I mean, you listen to yourself.
Go on.
I was quite specific, and I choose my words carefully. I don't just speak. When you hear me speak, I choose my words carefully. The budget line that you referred to is the 38 cedis that former President Mahama paid, and that is why in that year, which you claim, you launched free SHS for day students. For which reason you were even planning to bring on board these students. Day students of Aquinas, Accra High, and every day student in the year 2015 in Ghana received a bill of not less than 400 cedis and paid their school fees, including furniture fees, WASE registration, and what have you. Today, under...
Dennis, don't react to him. Go on.
So don't sit on TV and just peddle. Now, again, I did not claim that Nanado was lauding an announcement. Nanado's interview was with Fifi Boafo on Man FM in 2014. There was no progressive, so-called progressive free.
As for that, you said that he was lauding the announcement.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So it cannot be the case. So don't come and say he claimed that Nanado. The fact is that something Nana Addo launched free. Former President Mahama should be magnanimous, including his spokesperson. It is completely disrespectful to the people of this country. It's an insult to every single poor child in this country. With all the things they said against free senior high school, did against it, including in the year 2016. What he said, now that is even not a worry. Even after free SHS had been implemented, former President Mahama said that it was going to collapse the Ghanaian education. He went on to even lambast the students of beneficiaries of this free SHS education. Then you come back in 2024. Good thing. You love it. You realize that the people love it and cherish it. So you want to now clinch on it for an election. Right. No problem.
Thank you, Dennis.
Tell the people that, you know what, I think the way this thing is being done, I have a much more improved way of doing it.
Yes,
and this is how.
Okay.
Listed it.
No, something. When you say review,
it's a source of.
It's review. A policy.
Okay.
So that lack of respect for the people of Ghana, that attempt to steal a policy that you campaigned against, demonstrated against, and protested against, and then the confidence to even continue to sit on TV and peddle falsehood.
Thank you, Dennis.
It's most disrespectful to the people.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. You can't be replying everywhere.
No, I'm just giving you the receipt.
You can't do that.
St. Aquinas, go to TV3. Yes, go to TV3. Yes.
You are lying.
Hold on. Aquinas secondary school. Is there a body?
Where is the document?
Hold on. Is there a body?
I cited of
relax. Oh, calm down.
Gave you my reference.
Aquinas,
where is the documents?
The headmaster is on video.
Where
the headmaster of Aquinas is on video.
Those students paying 400 cedis.
Yes. Second student.
As a benefit.
You are a liar.
Stop lying.
A complete liar.
Sammy.
Abusianfo, munyanto masye. On semna Sammy Gyamfy kan. Bra na po eba bedi Minister of Education. Munim se we minister na ye you free okonya so a who free position mu a ye wadi be ye friend handing over note entino na pobedi president na pobedi minister or read books na nsem bi koso abonten about free education progressive free na na ponti ase enti na mwe so manapo efa presidential handing over note, ministerial handing over note of Minister of Education. Na eye na Jane Opoku Ajimai edeko Kwame Sefakai ni studios say odeko prove actually what happened when Mahama said that he was doing progressively free education. Abusia yenko tie video no ye wia na ma bo video na sabio na a teacher for pam a school for free school because of some muntua of school fees na me de I endorse asema Miracles Abuaje eka yenko tie na po video we ye ba
progressive praise your policy. Because then why are you asking me for a policy?
Because the must have been one
before you started. Now, Mama Kasa she has become an embarrassment to education. Because under our watch,
and I make us say, because Okomupe na kwa say ukasetia.
Yes, and I will say Kwame. Me do it say Ghana for you now. So kaya. Me say me handing over notes to me. I'll be back to you. And then I'm news of a call.
Man said uncle, when I hear
37. Quality.
Only 37. I mean, final question.
Or say feeding grants for college of education or the car or that. Near church training allowance.
Yeah.
And also be feeding more college. 2 years before the car went here.
That's I know. No.
Oh, of our no. Where the be real comment.
I buy no but Okasa on the car
under her watch.
Okay.
Under her watch. That's supposed to be managing ministry. Saka will be near. Feeding grants to special schools and the front for the Umumasu school, not the car 2 years on try. Senior high school subsidy 2 years on try. Or no any progressive free senior high school 2 years with Jakapre. Ewaha. Capitation grant or the car. This education supporting Colorado. And don't see na teacher for that strategies ka. Okay, we about trouble knows what see in term. Paper school supplies. Okay, I say president be teacher the coca see in your truck for Jody at them. Okay, or want to establishment supplies, class attendance register, teacher notebooks, chalk, no the cat, no munchia. Exercise book omuto umanchia. School uniforms umanchia. Now say so
I mean,
Mahama old lazy apple be shoe or so school standards when you when be chair you book him you hand it over ni or for buses okay yellow when chia ubisa swanika me ministry by the bit chair textbooks and dictionary or toy when chia and we 18 million we 17 million uta teacher trade allowances o say university cry we lecture dancer na urban or book a research allowance ubechem. That is the way we came to fight this election. That is the way we came to fight. It is a big counter. Now we say research grant I demand a part of book and research allowance since the president for 4 years. Yen obiaba ntumuda President Mahama, President Mills. Na to dan kwaku for by atum by 200%. Mama nka
na say aban mamamu a continue.
And the part of the
government is a continuum.
So catch me say. And then we go election. Me ko catch Ghana for say so what to my MPP a 100% better government than NDC. Send me kano. O teacher training allowance we are very store. Number of teacher trainees at school say do so check the more time we go school. Mama nka
menka senka
kwa bia se na make actually it is high election Ghana for to ababa na ku for na ka maybe to get education minister
no
it is juma na me yellow so be buhu akonta it is a be banam the catch us say all the 3 years pay policy the buy obi ya juma 6 months utua 3 months pe obi e not 2 years okay a government policy not allowed to buy the legacy arrears about affecting over 100,000 teachers near chia emu 91 with a special dispensation 91%. You tell me you quick you acknowledge. Now teacher for that now do for say they are all running up of the funds this year. Over 4 million, almost 6 months arrears. You check them. Money in car opening.
Gyamfy say uhena utie yi a Sammy Gyamfy e de mrabi be ka kire yen say omo prove e wo parliament say sabio free education progressively free Mahama ashase ema parliament ema kwan say the finance minister then should allocate monies to the minister of education to pay for those students na omo eco benefit on this program called progressively free education. The question that I'm asking you is say the sesika we nyina ko ekoma je na opoku agiman say onko tua amofra hoka e wo school mu a e ba ne sen e na po e be transfer as minister of education na saa ka we da ho a na ye mfie mienu ne fa mfie ba ko ne fa abushia tie mi yo Sammy Abeka ne kama say parliament ye approve budget for progressively free education. Emma finance minister allocating monies to be used for that specific purpose. Asama na poika na iso to say 2015-2016 no monies were paid to the people who provided these services na a type of services that we're going to be giving to people who were benefiting from the progressively free education. In Tigana ni miya be ma miya ba wutie mi awo hweme. They say ofani dai otrofo se madansi ni ewo abrochire we die mapo a kire wo sika no omudi sika no omuwe na se wo si asema na poekan won jinni because you say oya politics na video we in 2015 during the BEC what happened to some of the day students yenti we are let the video na bana official Felix say one
authorities at the St. Aquinas Senior High in Accra have threatened to sack final year students who do not pay their fees by Monday, April 27, despite a GES directive to allow them to write the West African Senior School Certificate examination.
344 out of 415 final year students owe fees to the tune of 130,000 cedis.
We have threatened the students. The headmaster, threatened them that if they do not pay, then in the other way, the best method I can do, the last minute, is just to get them out of the class.
The school authorities say they are handicapped and fear students may not pay fully their fees before completing the course.
We're owing about 1.3 billion old Ghana cedis. And as of now, we talk about maybe about 20% might have finished paying their fees. And so it means we need to find a way to get the money, because maybe we may be dragged to the Public Accounts Committee for the existing debt that appears in the school.
But this is contrary to the directive from the GES for schools to allow candidates to write the West African Senior School Certificate examination.
Felix, well, if you want, I can give you some 5 minutes or 10 minutes to add something. Then we close. Ejabusia, Mahama say, really, or Kia Sika, anywhere school for Munti asama na po ekendi. Afei Felix, so betumi a me do beto so na wakasa. Yeah. Man na po kasa we pena me do wato so na wache wa adwene. 5-10 minutes per na ya kurusu.
I'm so make say yenya ne saa.
Yenya ne saa.
Because okomu pe na akwa say ukasa etia.
Yes. And I will say Kwame. Me do each the Ghana for you now. So kaya. Me say me handing over notes ni. I'll be back to you. And then I'm news over Koho.
Man said uncle, una hoye ode.
37. Quality.
Who 37? I mean, final question.
Or say feeding grants for college of education or the car. For that. Near church training allowance.
Yeah.
And also be feeding more college. 2 years before the car went here.
That's
I know.
Oh, of our baby.
Now, when you know,
when the baby are comment,
but Okas on the car
under her watch. Under her watch.
Okay.
Under her watch. That's supposed to be managing ministry. Saka will be near. Feeding grants to special schools and the front for the Umumasu school, not the car 2 years on try. Senior high school subsidy 2 years on try. Although any book, any. Progressive senior high school 2 years when Jaka play. Capitation grant or the car, the education supporting Colorado. And don't see na teacher for that strategies car. Okay, what about who knows what? See in check. Maybe school supplies. Okay, I said President BRB teacher the coca see in your truck for Jody at them. Okay, or what to establishment supplies, class attendance register, teacher notebooks, chalk, no the car, no exercise book, school uniforms, now say social media. Now President Mahama or Lesia issue or school standards when you bet you will book him. You hand it over. Or we are also yellow when chia ministry by the BTI textbooks and this and when chia and we're 18 million, we're 17 million. Uta teacher training allowances. O say university cry we lecture dance and urban. Or we book a research allowance. That is the way we came to fight this election.
You see, all these are possible because of researches. Into your president now, but now you don't care about researchers. What kind of governance do you want to offer to the people? Hey, Ghana for me say Munim Namoko don't question about the Mama Ham Samara. What dear Felix, we don't count.
That is the way we came to it. Is a big now we say research grant. I demand a part of book and research allowance since the president for 4 years. Yen Obiaba Tumuda, President Mahama, President Mills. Now to Dan Kwaku by up to by 200%. Mama Inka.
Nasa Abayim Mamamu a continue.
And the part of the show.
Government is a continuum.
Catch me say. And then a biblical election.
Abusian for him saying I have Tiasema, incoming vice president. Okay, into Entoaso. Felix, but what to make? Yakuba, I'm happy. Ayaja, Wakobomo, Ghana.
Talayago, the Madame.
Oh, but why are you what you have to watch? What you have to watch?
You prepare
your biggest welcome, bro. You're welcome.
And let me keep on a very brief amount. Document here, not document very, very important. Now, you know what? Sammy Gyamfy the Pepia the best thing to be one say on the show, but who said that is ethic, actually figure say, and then we see or the starting say or the irate, your man,
Yes.
yeah, and that is what he done. That is their strategy. And no,
I think it's a friends. Network.
but they are a distortion. So, he that will be an anchor on training, then it's air camp. But yeah, that is how they do. That's how they do. Even when this boy exposed by his own readings he did, because he did mention some budget. Obia will be one person he said. The fact that the thing finds its budget, not necessarily budget for it. That is why for
absolutely not.
That is why for 2 years there was no on the budget. They were putting inside say yeah, if free education and then when we start questioning, they are saying I don't know this budget. Now yes, say and the profile and serious. They are one that someone that is not able to account for what actually they release the money and the and when we are able to see and sorry, but it's not the smart part because they are like where they are not I don't know why I'm waiting in this. I don't know.
Yes, there's a noise coming from your side.
Okay, I say a jai. What to make up?
Yeah, but man focus the sound is not all that clear. But
yeah.
Keep on,
Sound wasn't clear. That sounded the but the American say video say Oshe the star and this was say almost so it is the right way Dennis handled them. May encourage you that if we there remember every time we set up to deliver something now, let's have our facts with us. When the NDC people come on the platform, when they are spewing the lies, we'll be exposing them with the facts. And the more we are able to do this, the more we'll be able to break sad notion now. Because Charlie, they have managed to get into the minds of certain people. Just say it's not good. You understand? And that's
benefited from all the social interventions, fully,
Yes.
They are still being
exactly my point. Because Oko villages there now, Charlie. Ghana is not a crowd. Oko villages now, it is something way different. And for me, like I think said the time now, but say, SKB. You're communicating you're making sure say every time we mount the stage we should expect say NDC for the birthday so we should have the facts ready to give it to them and put it in their eyes. Now let me tell you one thing and then I'll let you go. Okay, a time is coming on. The boy Sammy Gyamfy will not even feel comfortable coming to programs no more, and that is what
I believe so.
We are going to make him feel very uncomfortable to even talk to the media because then someone wakeka and the entra when they are wadada and this food be independent be a fan wewu ye body na no kama na okojina baby kasa ya chere Ghana for say abemu a we the baby obeka we chere wa ukudi na chi a ye twa wo napcom no abemu a we and obeka asema wudi na chi anu to koye demonstration and ye toast what she go so no. We are going to remind Ghanaians who this Sammy Gyamfy is. And I thank the way, God, the way Senior Miracle was dazzling with him and making sure, say, the truth was stated. Even at the point, even correcting something in the midst of it. This is the way to go. That is the way we need to go.
Exactly.
Before we are able to hit them, trust me, this election, Charlie Ground's really good. I'm telling you, grounds
very,
very
good.
It's the grounds really good. All we need to do is to push the agenda and make sure that we are selling Dr. Mahomia and Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh with everything that we have, with all the skills that we have, with all the materials that we have, so that they can win this thing. And I know Ghana will be a better place. Charlie, that's it.
But I will trust you with Felix. Salute. Thank you very much, Felix, for your submission. Very clever and intelligent submission. Abusia, enti said the munyina munim no. Sure no. Ya di abana wiye. Nanka mpese me mfa call, but me kese me mfa call so ye wiye ne. Ye wiya SKB TV. Ewo live. Enti ye free ya mo me yenko ne nchen direct na ye nyina yenko boa no. Ma on fan show emra kama pa. Phobia Member TV ewo Facebook esanso ewo YouTube. SK ewo YouTube esanso Facebook. Yemi ana ojoining Political Zone Felix Appear. Political Zone Felix Appear ewo YouTube esanso wo Facebook. Mu hwe no so achi akwan na mo subscribe na mo follow na munya ensempa emfiri ne hontie. Sabato TV ewo Facebook esanso wo YouTube. Sabato buy, but Sabra no na I was not reading the comments. He asked me for the link, but unfortunately, when I put the link, I think say he was already gone. It wasn't something to do against you, but I did not see the comment because there were many comments. Next time, Biano, you have more than to link you up. Now also the Wagenchile Abba. Abusia NTN, I think say we have seen. And this is for the country of Senapo a Arrongent. We have seen what they mean. And this is for tagging of Arrongent on Nana Poku. It's nothing more than say Omusro Nana Poku. Omunim say Kumase Asantemai Edo Nana Poku. So they are trying to find a way to tarnish his image. And Assemble number to Miaka. I want to find his competency. So because the man is competent and he deliver anytime that you put him somewhere to do something. And they have nothing to say. And yate what NDC meant when they say Nana Poku is arrogant. Second, Mahama ekujina media for any made intro. Because and some no coach now okay, we bring on lies. Now no me baha ebe straight down some of the lies about the free SHS. Ya both videos about them. This is another one. Face to face. BBH say they know nothing about free SHS. You say enipa unim na anaju, unim na wiano. Yen so kania ehwe nanim anadwo enipa nso ye se yebesi usu anka ehoma entimi wiano Ghana niba either you are NDC, you are MPP, vote for a party that will think about you, that will provide you services that will make your life better. Nana Adudanko Akufo-Addo the number or the next person to lead is Dr. Mahama Bawumia. Because what it takes to be a leader, the man got it. What to take to be a problem solver, he has it. What to take to be a calamitous, leader or the vice. What it takes to be a vice president, competent, supervising, making sure that things are done, making sure that your boss order is being heard and being executed. That the command and the orders of your master has been heard well and has been upright on the ground. Capacity, ability, any talent. And what are we waiting and whom do we want? Do we want a competent, vis-a-vis leaders, or we want incompetent, calm person to come and lead us. The choice is yours. It doesn't matter you NDC or you MPP. It is about Ghana first. Abusian for me don't be see me any Mr. Mafo. RAZ Media GH on YouTube and Kennedy Ajapon Junior on Facebook. Me da dofo nyina ase. Aseda adepa me da wase for your contribution. Prince Edu say Godwin Tete, John Campbell, Felix Apia, Political Zone, Nana Kumia, Osikani Kwajo, Juliet Boache, Stephen Tufo, John Campbell, Juliet Boache, Tony Abua, Marshall Antwi, Diana Rivers, Diana Pia, Princess Edu, Phobia Member TV on Facebook and YouTube, SKB TV Our Life, Frank Boateng, Nana Ajimai, Osamoro Kuno, Prince Edu, Sammy Gyamfy, Ahmed Mutar. You know, Abusian for me the munyina ase. You have done a very great job. Michael Amo munyina me the munyina ase. Abusian the message I want to say CI me the link way to me the link way to comment section ha. SKB TV in our life. Muma ye nyina yenko. Na yanko boano no so mfa show no emra link no na me dia to hoy abusia nyoma link no so na se wo free ha ya na wo ko direct to SKB TV on YouTube. Me da mo nyina ase ene mo bre makramo Mr. Mafo. Until we meet again,